Welcome. This is Fan Day Radio, your passport to life as I live it. I'm your host, Elizabeth Hall. I'm living, running, and podcasting in my podcast studio here in sunny Central Florida. You can catch me over at lizforaday.com or you can catch me over at Facebook and Twitter. All mentioned links will be in the show notes. I hope you all had a fantastic week just like I did. It was actually great. It was kind of relaxing, kind of zen. And one thing that I noticed is that it's more zen for me because I've been working out. So I've actually been focusing more on my fitness. And it just kind of gives me a different mindset for the day. So that might be something you want to look into if you're not out there physically exercising. All right, there's a couple of things I want to talk about today. And first, I want to talk about the camera that I have. And you may have noticed from a couple of episodes before that the picture is a lot clearer now. And I probably could have a little bit more light in here, but actually the lighting is not that bad. And if I was probably faced towards the window, which is back here behind me, the lighting would be like superb. And so it might be something I might think about in the future, is to have more light in front of me. But for now, this is good, and the camera is good, and I'm loving this camera. And I originally bought it for my business, for Smart Office Help, so that I can do more webinars and things like that, and trainings where people need to see my face in video conferencing. And so I got it on Amazon. It was around like $74. And if you have Prime, you don't have to pay for shipping, which is wonderful. And it's a Logitech HD Pro webcam C920. And it had lots of great reviews on it for obvious reasons. I've heard of and seen examples of people using this camera, and so I wanted to get it. I've wanted another camera for a long time because the onboard camera is just not that good, and it's pretty fuzzy and low light, and so I wanted to make sure that I got those. And it also can record audio, but I have the audio coming in from my Behringer mic, which is right here. If you guys don't see, I have the mic there, and I use that for the podcast. So it's kind of great. So if you are listening to the podcast on audio, you can actually watch me over on YouTube. So, and if you're on YouTube, you can actually listen to me on the podcast. So you can go over to iTunes, go to lizforaday.com/iTunes, and that's where the listing is for Fan Day Radio. And you can listen to it there. And so the only thing that I kind of did differently as far as, just going out doing things was I went to the beach, because mostly I just stayed at home and went to the office and worked, and that's it. But I went to the beach on Sunday, and the weather is just absolutely beautiful here in Florida right now. Even though, again, it's the dead of winter, but it's phenomenal. And we had a couple of days where the temperature was low, was in the 30s, but for the most part, it's been pretty high, and it's gone back up into the 70s now. And on Sunday, the weather was supposed to be 81 degrees, and I actually I looked at the weather when I got out to the beach, and it was like 70 degrees. So of course, even though the air temperature is a little high, I know the water temperature is low, but there's always people out in the water. Always people laying out in the sun when it's, you should have on a coat, and they have their children in the water, and it's just crazy. But I just like going out there, people watching, and just zenning, listening to the surf, and it's just really relaxing. So if you ever get to come down to Florida during the winter times, still go to the beach anyway. Just make sure you bring some warm clothes with you. But I just had like my towel wrapped around me, and I had on a little dress, and I was fine. It wasn't that cold at all. For some people, it might be a little bit more chilly, but I don't like to be cold. So if I say it was fine, then it was fine. Okay, it was fine out there. So that was like my big trip. It takes me like about 45 minutes to an hour to drive out to the beach. So it's not that far away. So it's wonderful. So I want to talk about a couple movies that I've seen since the last podcast, and one of them is The Kingsmen. And The Kingsmen was actually a great movie, and it's about this old order of spies, and of course they have to replace people because people die in this in the spy job, and so they're recruiting like some younger recruits, and so it's all about the recruiting process, and then at the end they have to save the world, but it has lots of action in it. It's kind of James Bondy, so if you like that kind of thing, and it had a wonderful storyline and some great actors in it, and I loved it. It even had the guy that played the original Equalizer, the one that had the Equalizer series, and I can't remember what his name is, but so you guys should actually go and see that one. That one I definitely give a thumbs up to. And then the second movie that I went to see is The Seventh Son. And The Seventh Son is in the fantasy genre. And usually with the fantasy movies, it's usually, it's a team of species that get together and to bring down a common foe. And this one was a little bit different. It was about kind of a wizard who is getting an apprentice, and he's going after an old girlfriend that's a witch of his. And the storyline was a little bit off for me, and it seemed like they took a book and they tried to make it into a movie, and I just wasn't feeling it personally. And it wasn't a bad movie. I would actually give it one of these kind of a sideways thumbs. Not really a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but a sideways thumbs, because I would watch it on video, but to go out and pay money to go to the theater and see it, it just wasn't that great for me. And so that one, again, I would give that like a sideways thumbs. Not bad, not good, just marginal. But The Kingsman, definitely, I'll give that one 2 thumbs up, because I would actually go see that movie again. I loved it. It was awesome. All right. So, also, I wanted to just give kind of a thumbs up, or not a thumbs up, but a shout out to a commenter on my blog. And actually I used to go to her blog all the time and leave comments, and I call her one of my blogging buddies, because I had when I first started blogging on Liz for a Day, I actually had lots of people that I went back and forth with conversing. I called them my blogging buddies, and she was one of them. And I just haven't been on Liz for a Day at all. And now, since I started doing the podcast again, I actually posted the podcast, and she left a comment, and her comment was, "Hi Liz, I haven't seen or heard from you in so long, and I've been away from blogging on this site, so it was nice to see your name appear up on the reader again. So I hope all is well." And I just told her that was so sweet, that I've actually been working really hard on my business blog and pretty much neglecting myself and Liz for a Day. And so I'm getting back to that, and I told her basically she would be seeing a lot more from me. I sent her some hugs, and because Liz for a Day was really it wasn't my first blog that I did, but that was my baby. I love Liz for a Day, and I post some good stuff, about travel and health and fitness, just things about my life that I think would be helpful for other people. And so I really wanted to get back to that. So it was nice that comment was there. It's motivating for me. Comments are always motivating. So if you get a chance to leave somebody a comment, leave it. I always call myself a habitual commenter, because I always leave a comment if I read something. And so people know that I've been there. So that's just my way of supporting them. So you can leave comments for me on iTunes, lizforaday.com/iTunes. Take you to the iTunes directory, or you can leave a comment over on Liz for a Day. I would greatly appreciate it. Love comments, love talking to people. All right, so let's talk about fitness now. Let's get into the fitness, because I don't want this to be too long. But I've been running over on the trail, walking over on West Orange Trail. West Orange Trail actually is a long trail here in our area. It goes about 21 miles, like county to county. Of course, I haven't been through the whole trail, but I'm thinking about just going to different pieces of it each week, and then doing my long walk or run on the different pieces of the trail, because every piece kind of has something different. It has a different look, a different feel, different people on it, and so I wanted to do that. And although I could walk in my neighborhood and I have a pretty good route, I don't really like walking in my neighborhood. And, I don't really like carrying the stick when I'm out there because of, stray dogs. Well, it's just like one stray dog. And so it only takes me about 7 minutes to get out to the West Orange Trail. And so I just go ahead and just jump in the car and go out there. The only thing I don't like is this is one guy out there. He always wants to stop and talk and have a conversation. And I don't want to have a conversation when I go out there. I want to go out there and do my little walk run. I'm timing myself. I don't want to stop or anything like that. And I don't need him to be trying to keep up with me or anything like that. So it hasn't quite come to that just yet, but I'm just saying. I just go do my out and back and then I'm off. And I don't want to stop and have a conversation with anybody because I think he's out there on a religious kick trying to like recruit some people, and I ain't got time for that, okay? Lizzie does not have time for that. But anyway, the trail is it's a concrete trail, but most of it is shaded, and there's some pieces that are not. But so you can go for a couple of miles and it's totally shaded, so it's really like no excuse for not getting it out there, because even on a warm day when you're up under those trees, it's wonderful. It's just like huge trees. They're old and so they're big, and so I love that. And I love going out on the weekends, on Sunday and Saturday, because that's when you see like I've seen like people on the elliptical, the bicycles, the 2-seaters, the bikes that sit really low to the ground and look kind of like tricycles. I've seen people on roller skates, runners, walkers, you name it. Everything is out there. Skateboards, rollerbladers. And so it's just interesting to see all the gadgets that people are using for fitness. So like there again, there's like no excuse for not getting out there, because there's just so many ways that you can do it. You can walk and stop and sit and then get up and walk some more, and so it's just wonderful. And also, like at the piece of the trail where I usually start out, there's a Buddhist temple there, and they have chickens out there. So sometimes the chickens are in the parking lot, and I've even seen the chickens on people's cars. And I hope I never see a chicken on my car, because chickens have those big old claws, and I ain't got time for no chicken claws on Sandy. So Sandy is my car. I named her. It's my Toyota Prius is Sandy. So I don't have time for people to be on Sandy, but the chickens are kind of cool, and I have a picture here of, I think this is a rooster and not a chicken, but it's kind of just interesting to see them. And I'm not in the country, but our city allows people to have chickens within the city limits, and also pigs. But I just saw chickens on this day. And so the only thing that I don't like about the trail is most of it is in the wooded area, but then sometimes it goes out to the road. And when you're out on the road and you're already running and you're walking really fast, you're breathing deeply, and then you're breathing in the exhaust fumes from the road. And also I just feel kind of exposed when I'm out there on the road. I just like being in the wooded area parts. And but other than that, I feel safe out there, and it's a good place to go running. Now, last week I mentioned the Daily Mail, because you can join my community on the Daily Mail, but it's not the Daily Mail, it's Daily Mail, so without the the. So dailymail.com, there's a link in the show notes, and you can join my fitness community, and it doesn't have to just be running or walking. You can do like ellipticals, you can jump rope, you can do weights, you can put anything that you want on there, and it's really motivating and it's fun to interact with other people. So again, that's Daily Mail, and my handle on there is Queen Liz H, and that's on Daily Mail. One thing that I had to start doing differently is I had to put on my compression gear, which I hadn't been wearing, because I get some incredible shin splints. Like really painful shin splints, and I haven't figured out how to get rid of them. I've changed my shoes, I've changed my socks. So even with my compression gear, I'm still getting some really bad shin splints. And the bad thing about it is, they're really excruciating excruciating. Like you just want to sit down and just sit there until they go away. But I never do, because even though they're painful, I just always tell myself in my mind that it's painful, but I'm not going to die. So I just keep working through it. But it just takes me a couple of miles before I work through it. And then the shin splints go completely away. So even if I stretch or whatever, it's just those shin splints are killing me. And I haven't figured out how to get rid of them. I never had them before. And I think it's because of my weight, because I just weigh a lot more than I did when I first started doing my running. And so I just cannot run now. Like, you know, some people say they can't run, but they can. But I'm telling you, I've tried it and I can't run because I want to. And so I'm determined to get back to running. So I'm going to have to do something about that. I might have to, like, I don't want to say it, I don't want to go on a diet. I'm not really gaining any weight right now, but I'm not losing any either. So I know I need to probably just cut back, you know, kick back from the table, and I might be able to lose some weight. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so I wear my compression gear, and I like wearing the long compression gear, but in the summertime it gets a little bit hot. I actually had my compression gear, and I'll give you the name of it, maybe on a different show, or I'll put it in the show notes because I don't remember the exact name. And I have the ones that go all the way down to your ankles, and then I have some that just comes past your knees, and then I have some shorts, and they're really good, and they really keep everything nice and tight so it doesn't jiggle around. And then also with that, it's good for your circulation. And if you have big thighs that like to rub together, and you know, we don't like it when it rubs together. That's chub rub, and you get sores, and it's kind of painful. And if you wear compression tights or pants, and then it'll keep it from doing that. So I never run or walk long distances without having on the compression tights. I just don't do it. And then I also have, like, you know, I got a lot of stuff going on up here too. So I always wear a compression bra also, and that helps me from jiggling and rubbing and getting sores and all the stuff. And so you just got to do what you got to do. And so I'll probably go over like all the gear that I wear. Maybe I'll do that on the next show. And so the compression gear is what I've been wearing. I decided that I'm going to hopefully run the OUC Half here in Orlando, which is in December. I believe it's December 15th. And I'm trying to see if I can get somebody that lives within this area to do it with me. I haven't had any takers yet. I actually put a post on Facebook, and I didn't get no likes, no comments, no nothing. It was like people just ignored me to see if I could find somebody to do it with. So I'm putting smoke signals out there. So that's the OUC Half in December. Plenty of time to train for it. And so I should be able to do much better than I did when I did the Disney one, because then I just had a lot going on, a lot of traveling going on, and it was just busted up my whole training. But this time I don't think I'll have a lot of traveling going on during that time, and I should be able to train pretty good and do a really good job at this. So we'll see. Maybe I can bust my PR for the half marathon. So I'm working on a new playlist for that. I got like over 3 hours worth of music now, but I'm going to need some more, because I'm kind of, you know, you put your playlist together and then you have some songs that are too slow, and you have to take those off, and then you might get some new songs and you want to add on there. And so maybe I'll post my playlist. It's going to be pretty long, but it's mostly R&B, of course. And I think it's going to be a good playlist. So I'm working on that. So if anybody has any good music ideas for playlists, I would love to hear that. And then last on my agenda here, I just want to talk about my stats for running. And so for this week, I had 15.4 miles. I had a total of 4 runs, and my pace was 15:53, which is good, because right now I'm just trying to keep it under 16. But I would like to go a lot faster than that. Still a lot slower than I used to go, but 15:53 is good. The week before it was 16:01, and I had a total of 17.1 miles and 5 runs for last week, which was great. So this one was only 4 runs, and I wanted to have more than that, but it's okay because one of the runs was 6.2 miles, which is actually a 10K. And I did that on Sunday before I went to the beach. And it only took me an hour and 37 minutes. And I was really surprised because my PR for 10K is actually around 1 hour and 20 minutes. So that kind of surprised me because I thought I took a lot longer, and it wasn't that bad at all. And I was really kind of taking my time. I wasn't trying to do race speed or anything for myself. And so that was good. 6.3, that's 10K. That was awesome. So I did 4 runs for this week. So that was great. So basically that is it for this week, and I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. Again, you can watch me over on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe there so you'll know when it's updated. And then also you can come over to List for a Day and you can watch it or listen to it there, or you can subscribe on iTunes and just listen via podcast on your smartphone, and that's over at listforaday.com/iTunes. So with that, I'm just going to say love, peace, and hair grease. From your sweet lotus blossom and lovable Lizzie, have a fantabulous day and enjoy life.